We enter the fifth, and the Ridge Runners look to shake off the play at the plate. Alex Conover throws a one-hop dart to Corderio to erase Valdez at the plate, and the good guys remain scoreless, 1-0 Otterbots. We enter the top half of the fifth. It will be Pratt, Sifford, and Goldberg coming to the plate. And we got a new pitcher on the bump. We got a lot of things going on here to begin the fifth. Also in the booth with us, Justin Morgenstern, Director of Player Personnel. I said that correctly, correct?
Nailed it.
Man.
Very impressed.
That is, names are my bugaboo. They always get me tripped up here. Let's see, number 34, a new pitcher. That is Brody Lanham. New pitcher on the hill. Is everyone getting deep into the bullpen here in night 2 of this 2-game series? Justin, welcome to Bluefields. Your first trip, correct?
It's my first trip this season. I've been to Bluefield quite a few times over the last few years, but I love coming here. It's the best backdrop that this entire league has. It's beautiful up here.
Khalil Pratt 0 for 1 with a walk. Will lead off the top half of the fifth with the Bots clinging to that 1-run lead. First pitch, a fastball outside, ball 1 to Pratt. Lanham, 6'6" right-hander. Clarksville, Tennessee, plays his college ball at Austin Peay. Breaking ball, cut on and missed. The count is 1-1 on Pratt. Justin, tell me a little bit about what you do in the league. I know all these players, all 9, 10 of them on the field right now. You're the reason they're here. You kind of put them in place and make sure everyone has a home for the summer, correct?
That's exactly right. I mean, we have a relatively small office in the Appalachian League. I'm one of 4 people that comprises that office, so we wear a lot of hats. But my main responsibility is player procurement and roster management for all 10 teams in the league. So all year long, I'm on the phone with college coaches, with advisors, with players, seeing who we can bring to the Appy League that would be a good choice for us. And then once I create that giant pool of players, I then divide them up how I see fit onto the 10 teams in hopes of creating parity throughout the league. Most people don't want to hear this, but my goal is for every team to go 24-24. If they do that, I did a good job.
Yes, 2-2 now. The count on Pratt. Kicking the pitch. This one roped. Well, foul out of play down the right field line. 2-2. The count remains. Yeah, in some years, folks are happy. Some years, folks aren't. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast as things happen. It's a game for one. So none of this is planned. and injuries and things like that happen. But what is the main goal for you and your team in the Appalachian League office for this league? As the backdoor breaking ball gets Pratt looking, one gone. Bye-bye, Khalil. What's the number one goal for this league now as a college woodbat league opposed to being the rookie affiliate to so many teams for so many years?
There's a few goals, and I think we prioritize them all. But I think my number one responsibility is to put players on the field that have a future in professional baseball. Now, we're trying to project players. Most of the players in this league are between 18 and 20 years old. Our average age this year is just short of 20. So we have to project a few years out. And the goal is to put future pros, future big leaguers on the field. And in this league, because these are all former pro-affiliated ballparks, they are up to date with the latest and best technology that Major League Baseball provides. And on a nightly basis, we're taking in all that data, all that video, and we're delivering it to the 30 teams on a daily basis so that in the future, when they potentially do want to draft these players.
0-2, swung on a miss. Sifford down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts by Lanham to begin this outing here in the fifth. 1-0 our score. Danville on top. We're in the top of the fifth. Justin Morgenstern along with us, Director of Player Personnel for the Appalachian League, in town tonight. Tell us a little bit about the behind the scenes of making sure that all these teams are filled year in and year out. Here comes Jackson Goldberg, switch hitting second baseman. He's 1 of 2 with a single tonight.
So we're taking in all that data, all that video, and we're delivering it to the 30 teams so that they have the most information they could possibly have come draft day on all the players that they're potentially looking at. And our hope is that, come draft day, they're taking players that have, at once upon a time, have played in the Appalachian League.
0-1 the count. Another breaking ball. Laneham gets ahead, and that one a sweeping slider outside, 1-1 the count. I think I don't want to speak for everyone, but I was here when it was rookie ball. Here now is college wood bat. The level of play is right there. It's almost the same age of young men. The only difference is these young men are going to school, playing for another team in the spring, as opposed to the professional players who are either in an extending spring training or coming off a fall league, or just then coming out of college after a draft, because the draft used to be early June. I think the level of play is right there with the way it was when it was rookie ball, don't you?
I'm absolutely thrilled to hear you say that.
Diving stop by Campbell missed. That was just past his mitt, and Goldberg is aboard for the second time tonight with a single to right.
Because I completely agree with you. And believe it or not, my first internship right out of college was with the Danville Braves in the Appalachian League as a media relations trainee. And at the time, that was pro-affiliated baseball. So, right there with you, I saw what that league looked like then. I see what the league looks like now. And I think you nailed it. Those guys were paid to play. These guys are still in college. I think the demographic is a little bit different. The Appalachian League used to be a landing spot for a lot of pro teams to put a lot of international players. Yeah. You saw a lot of Dominicans in here. And now, this league is mostly comprised of domestic U.S.-born players.
First pitch to Amon Chandler, the left-handed hitting first baseman, is low, ball one. Goldberg at first, 2 gone here in the 5th. 1-0 Otterbots.
Now, along those same lines, the Appalachian League was a part of a player development system. And what we do here in the Appy League, we take a lot of pride in our player development. We have the smallest rosters of any summer league out there, just 32 players, 18 pitchers, 14 position players. We have a special mandate with all of our managers. No position player can be benched more than one day in a row. We take our obligation to get these players on the field and get them their experience very seriously, very similar to the Appalachian League of old.
Pickoff move over on first. Goldberg back in plenty of time. I think also one of the great things about this league is the kids don't have to pay. There's a lot of summer leagues out there that we won't even go into the astronomical amounts that you've got to pay to even be thought of being in the league. But one, you don't have to pay, and these young men are handpicked by you and your staff from all the colleges around the nation. Got him leaning, but he gets back in time. Goldberg over at first. And I think that means more. Anybody can throw $1,000 at a team and get in the lineup. But right here, these players have earned the opportunity to get better in front of these crowds and in this great league that it's become. Got him this time. Goldberg caught leaning again. Lanham went to the well a couple of times and finally gets Goldberg leaning for out number 3. So Chandler will have to come back to the plate in the bottom half of the inning. We've got a guest with us, so we'll stay here. Justin Morgenstern, Director of Player Personnel with the Appalachian League in the house tonight. You spent some time as a scout with the Phillies. How much did you learn from that brings you to this role with the league currently?
It's eerily similar. I spent a year on the pro side with the Atlanta Braves back in 2016, where I was in charge of scouting the pro complexes, which was rookie ball, down in Florida for Atlanta. And those kids were just drafted. They were just drafted out of college, just drafted out of high school. Some international players just coming over the United States for the first time to see pro ball. And then I switched over to the amateur side with Philadelphia, where I was scouting the players for high school and college before they were about to get drafted. So that job transition was extraordinarily easy. And then once I came over here, now all I'm doing is something very similar. I'm not going to as many amateur games during the winter and spring as I used to. I'm not seeing the players with my own 2 eyes. I'm on the phones daily with advisors and with college coaches telling me about their players. And then I sit in front of my computer and I scout those players over video. And as you said, we handpick them for this league. So all follows a very similar track of being able to scout that I've been able to apply that extremely fun skill to.
The old school scouting approach was you've got to see the kid firsthand in person. I still think there's a lot to that, but there's so much video data out there on all these kids. You could sit in an office for 12 hours a day, and you could scout probably 100 kids, right?
That's absolutely right. The amount of video that I pour through on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, is extraordinary. We have the ability to do so. But I'm with you. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to baseball scouting, and I think seeing a player in person is the most important thing you can do. Now, unfortunately, I'm a little bit of a one-man show when it comes to picking the players for this league, so it would just be impossible for me to fly around the country and see, the close to 400 players we have play in this league every summer.
Garrett, Daniels, Nichols due up here in the bottom of the fifth. Ridge Runners had a runner thrown down at the plate. Tyne run attempt erased in the bottom of the fourth, so Otterbots still leading 1-0. New pitcher on the hill for Daniels. Number 25, Aaron Lewis, 6'2" right-hander out of Kansas City, Missouri, another Austin Peay product. His first offering to Colin Guerra out of play, 0-1. Aaron Lewis, not of the claimed alt-rock band Stain. That'd have been tough if you could come straight from a tremendous music career to pitching, but this is a different Aaron Lewis. He works from the Y, and the 0-1 is in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Justin Morgenstern, Director of Player Personnel, with us in the booth tonight. He's in town checking out the Ridge Runners here at Bowen. 1-1 to Guerra. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Still working on that 6-game hitting streak. Leaves that one up and out. It's 2-1. League put out this thing the other day. I thought it was tremendous. It shows what kind of depth we've got going on, not only this year but in years past. All the players who made their way to Omaha this week, playing high-level baseball. Isaac Silva was here. That breaking ball cut on and missed, and it's 2-2 on Garrett. Silva was here. He had a great outing in the loss to for Murray State the other night. You've got guys playing, regionals, coming off high-level play here to the league, and then you've got guys, that one comes in and hits Garrett, so he's aboard to lead off the fifth. And you've got guys making some noise at the pro level. A couple of guys came through here making some nice coin after some signing bonus. One young man, I think one of the greatest stories, and it hurts me because I forgot his name. It's because I've been hit in the head so many times, Justin. I apologize. We had a young man come in here. He was D2 Player of the Year. You're going to know who I'm talking about. Came in, had a great year, goes to the pro day, and then it was later that week he's drafted by the Cubs. And I think that's a tremendous, we've got so many big-name schools here in the league, but it also the lower-level guys coming in and showcasing their talent against the D1, Power 4, Power 5 guys and showing that they belong. And it's definitely paid dividends for some of those young men, right?
It absolutely has. I mean, the amount of exposure this league gives these players is unbelievable, and it's so rewarding when we see players go on and get drafted or get signed even after our season's over. Our player of the year last year, Callan Moss, who actually played for these Otterbots that are in front of us tonight, signed just a week after our season ended last year with the Kansas City Royals. He's now competing and doing extraordinarily well in pro ball.
Daniels gives this one a ride out to left center, but Conover gets a great jump, tracks it down for the out. Guerra was almost to third, and he will get back to second, diving in. Guerra had the turnaround second, but Conover feeds it back in. And one is out, and Guerra gets back to first. Daniels gives it a ride, one of the deepest parts of the yard for now. Here comes Nathan Nichols. Sorry, Justin, the play got you there.
No problem. Rather you describe it for our fans. But I think, watching our former players play in Omaha is so rewarding. We've got another 9 former and current players now at the MLB Draft Combine going on right now in Phoenix, Arizona. It's really fun to see, Appy Leaguers all around baseball competing and doing well.
First pitch to Nathan Nichols is low, ball one. Nichols will pop out to short his first time up. And I think that kind of validates what you do. It shows that, hey, we can kind of project what these guys are going to do down the stretch, and even before they even get to their Appy League team, we know that these guys have a future in this sport, and showing them playing at a high level, going to these combines and proving their worth, I think definitely proves your worth, correct?
It absolutely does. But what proves the worth is watching these guys succeed at the pro level, watching them do well at the combine, and it's the future Appy Leaguers that really aren't even on our radar yet, that are seeing all this happen and seeing all the synergy between the Appy League and the Draft Combine and the Appy League and Pro Ball, and they go, man, I want to play in the Appy League, in the future. That's the place to be, because as you mentioned, there's extraordinary benefits for these players in terms of what's covered for them, their housing and their meals and their travel to and from. This league is growing in popularity at a pace that is so fun to watch, and at times, quite honestly, is hard to keep up with.
2-1 the count on Nichols as he fouls that one out of play off the arm of Lewis. Third arm used tonight by the Bots. Fastball a tad up. It's 3-1. One of the few complaints, and I'm talking like small complaints we've heard around the league, and you talk to these college coaches daily, you interact with all those. Getting some of the young men to stay the entire year has been always, I think, one of the few problems. This one down the line right, but out of play. Now, some of it's justified. There's injuries, there's things like that. But what is it that the league is doing, and what's been something that you guys have taken into account to maybe say, hey, you're here for the summer, let's make the most of it, and let's stay the long haul and make sure that these rosters aren't getting the changeover that we've seen kind of in the past couple of years? Yeah,
I agree. That's been a huge source of aggravation for us. Player retention, once the season gets underway, is our number one priority. And sometimes it can get extraordinarily hard.
Loop down the line and left. That's going to get down for a hit. Nichols went all around the park trying to find it in fair ground, finally drops it into lead for a bloop single. And the Ridge Runners have something cooking with 2 on and 1 out. Here comes Derek Gonzalez, the switch hitting catcher, who's 0 for 1 on the night.
In the day and the age of the transfer portal, I think the transfer portal is once seen as, a player's not wanted at one school, so he's going to go find a different school that wants him. When really the transfer portal has become kind of a free agency deal, where maybe a player played extraordinarily well, then they jump in the transfer portal because their hope is to make money or go to a bigger, maybe an ACC or an SEC school. And we have schools that commit players to this league, and unknowingly, those players are eventually going to jump in the transfer portal. When those players commit to a new school, sometimes the new school wants them to get on campus and start going to classes, or get on campus and get in the weight room to get ready for the next season. So that's something that we battle on a daily basis. However, again, as this league has started growing in popularity, we're seeing a lot less players who actually they don't want to relinquish the opportunity of playing in the Appy League, because it is so good for playing time and it's so good for development.
2 on 1 out. 0-2 off speed in there. Gonzalez caught looking for out number 2. First strikeout for Lewis. Here comes the top of the order. Jorge Valdez, 1 of 2 with a single. He was thrown out at the plate in the bottom of the 4th to end that half inning, looking for maybe a little redemption with the tying run at second. Hit 2 out here in the 5th. Justin Morgenstern, Director of Player Personnel. Young man's been around the block here in baseball. Started Danville. Nice career as a scout, and now here's the Director of Player Personnel at the Appalachian League. Second year, correct, in that position?
This is my third year.
Okay.
Season. And you are right. Way to make me feel old. I have been around the block. It started before Danville. There was a lot of stops between Danville and here, but it's been so fun to move around the country. And I like to remind myself that every day I get to wake up and go to the ballpark. And what could be better than that?
Yeah, there's way worse jobs out there, I'll tell you that. What is some of the long-term goals here? I know when COVID struck and all this uncertainty with affiliated ball and MLB came in and decided to make the Appalachian League what it is now, the College Woodbat League, is the 0-1 fouled at the plate by Valdez. Makes it 0-2. What's the long-term goal now as we're in year 5 as this product that I think continues to grow, continues to get better each year. We've added some things. The 10-run rule, I think, is going to alleviate some things where some young men aren't worn down in games where it's already decided. I think that's a great rule that everyone seems to be a part of. But what are some other long-term things that we can keep an eye out? As a broken back liner goes over the head of Drew Dosh.
Some other long-term goals of ours is just to continue to grow this league. There's a certain league up in the Northeast that seems to be the pinnacle of collegiate summer baseball, and I think at some point or another I'd like to grow this league to get to the point where players are forced to choose between us or them. I'd really like to see us get to that point where this is the most desirable league in the entire country, because again, as you've mentioned, the benefits of these players, the playing time they get, are relatively short season in comparison to some summer leagues out there. I think it is the perfect place for a college kid to come and get his at-bats or get his innings pitched in.
Broken bat, timeout. Valdez goes in first base dugout, gets himself a new piece of wood. Justin Morgenstern along with us, Director of Player Personnel. The real answer to that, Justin, is we just need a movie made in the Appalachian League. They had the love comedy made in the Cape years ago. Now we've got to bring that here to the Appalachian League. It's a backdoor curveball, not very love-like. Gets rid of Valdez for the third and final out here in the fifth. Justin Morgenstern, Director of Player Personnel. I know you got a busy night. I'll let you go. Thanks for spending time with us. We'll start writing the script for that movie.
I love it. Let's get some directors, some producers on the phone.
Yes. I think we know some people. We'll get things going.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the night here in Bluefield, and thanks again. You're always welcome in the booth when you're in town.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll take a break. We'll be back. 1-0 Danville. Heading to the sixth. Ridge Runner Baseball Network.